make the mistake of allowing me to lead the next swim.
Oh, whoa, wait, listen. Yeah, right?
Whoa.
Hashtag better tether together.
Welcome to the Low Tide Boys, a swim run podcast. I'm Chip.
And I'm Chris. And on this week's show, we have the team Better Tethered Together, Amber Ferreira and Aaron Marsh. We're super stoked that we to have them on the show. We chatted them up when we were in Catalina. Now,
Three-ish.
Yeah, 3-ish weeks ago, and we really hit it off with them. They're big fans of us on they really like our memes. So yeah, it's kind of cool to get a chance to share our conversation with them before the big dance in Catalina.
As everybody knows, we're in full-on COVID-19 mode, shelter in place. Chris and I are actually recording this virtually. We're
Yes.
being model citizens, as some might say. So we're
Exactly.
recording this virtually. Even our local trails are closed because I guess everybody was so excited to go get outside and be around that supposedly some of the beaches around were having larger than summer levels of people coming, which is just kind of ridiculous. But
So I have a theory about this, Chipper.
yes,
I think it's people are all cooped up at home, hopefully, and they still want to try to have a good time. So they're just doing their sort of third date trip where, the third date is when you jump in a car with someone and you go on a hike or something. So the big problem where we're living is that a bunch of people were going on third dates and sort of overpowering parking lots and just totally not
there was
doing
no
what they were
social
supposed to do.
distancing. Yes. I have another theory as well that when someone tells you that you can't do something or that you have to stay inside, but you can go outside and go for a hike, like everyone was suggesting, oh, go for a hike, go for a walk. Everyone was like, oh my God, we got to get out of the house. And like, oh, we're going to be locked inside, so let's all go outside.
Yeah, it's like everyone made a New Year's resolution to join the gym or something,
Yeah.
except it was going outside.
So training has been going, pretty much all we can do is running. I have a few things ordered that I'm hoping that will help jumpstart some training and not let any fitness plateau. Chris and I and some of our friends have potentially talked about doing some aquatic park swims in the bay with the triathlon wetsuits, though, because it is still pretty cold. And if we're not going to be doing some swim run practice, I feel like I just need to swim for 30 minutes to kind of get the feeling of the stroke back.
Yeah, same here. I'm about to jump on the bike. That's how bad things have got, but it's okay. I actually love my bike, so
Yeah,
I don't mind
it's a
riding
cool
my bike.
hot pink bike. And you have a sit-up challenge or something?
Yes, today, well, whenever we're recording this, which is on a Monday, I started a 30-day abs challenge. So by the end of the 30 days, I should have a nice ripped six-pack underneath a fleshy layer of dad bod. So that'll be good. Core is always the thing that I wish I did more of. So I figure doing it with my daughter, so she's kind of counting out the reps and stuff. So that's kind of fun.
Are you doing an app thing or like Peloton or what, YouTube videos, or how'd you find?
Yeah, so it's kind of an app thing that somebody recommended to me, and I didn't do any research, so I actually don't really like the app, but I'm already invested my $20 for this thing for a month.
You're already
So now I'm committed. So hopefully it'll be good, but again, I feel like I do a lot of strength work anyway, so it's nice to just, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I have no idea how this program's going to go, but
what?
it's something to do.
There you go. And do we have any shout outs this week? Big Dave with the shout out. He and Chris and I are suckers for silly material. He put his
Definitely.
he put his arc keel on his head.
That's it. That's all he had to do.
That's all it took. And that's the type of joke that gets grown-ass men to laugh, as well as like 4-year-old toddlers, because they think that stuff's funny as well. One thing that you should check out, the Low Tide Boys were in the Otelo magazine titled Who the Heck Are the Low Tide Boys?
Yeah, it's kind of funny how that all happened. We just got a random email being like, who the heck are you guys? Are you guys comedians? We're like, I think so. Try to be a couple of jokers, but yeah, so that's cool. Check that out. We should put a link on it somewhere. Maybe we'll link it on our site or something.
Yeah, we'll throw it up on the Twitter account, the Instagram, and Facebook. We've already shared it once or twice, but we'll be sure to do that if you want to hear a little bit more of our backstory. And there's some cool questions about how we met and what we do for the 9 to 5 real world thing, or as real as the world can be. Yeah, so we'll get to the interview here, but we did want to disclose, we are a pretty open and free roaming show, but there is some pretty heavy poop talk in this episode. So if poop or hearing
also a topic that grown men and 4-year-olds find really funny.
Yes, that's true.
So interesting.
It wasn't planned out. It just kind of the conversation naturally went this way. I think that a lot of people, I know I have poo problems on the run and, the runner's trots and things like this. It's a problem that I think a lot of people have, but no one really talks about. So we decided to kind of leave it in the show, and hopefully that people will feel more enabled to talk about poop. But if hearing about poop and all that sort of stuff is bothersome to you, then you might just want to fast forward or skip this episode or find another one. But if you like the poop content, I guess let us know, and we could try to get some more poop stuff, swim run poop stories. There can't be that many of those out there.
I'm sure there's more than people care to talk about, but yeah, I think it's a really great episode. We had a great rapport with Amber and Aaron, and it's a lot of real talk in this episode. So I think with that, enjoy it, listen to it, embrace it, and don't unsubscribe at the end.
We do have a little special treat there at the end for you as well. So if you listen through the whole episode, be sure to listen all the way to the end for that little nugget. But without further ado, enjoy the episode of the Low Tide Boys with Better Tethered Together, featuring Amber and Aaron.
With us today, we have Amber Ferreira from Concord, New Hampshire, and Aaron Marsh from Boulder, Colorado-ish area. They're a swimrun team. What's your swimrun team name?
Better Tethered Together.
I'm glad you said that because that's a total tongue twister for me.
Yeah.
Amber is a pro triathlete and an Ironman champion, which is pretty awesome. Aaron is an elite swimmer, and there's more to that story in a little bit. Their first swim run race together was Casco Bay in 2019, and they are here in Catalina to do the World Series race on Sunday, tomorrow, but we don't know when this episode's actually going to air, so
at the time of recording, they're racing tomorrow.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us on. We're psyched.
Happy to be here.
Yes.
Great. So the first thing we ask people is kind of like how you discovered swim run and how you found out about it. So just want to kick it off with that.
Okay, yeah.
Your
so
origin story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let Aaron take the lead on this because she roped me into she tethered me
Oh.
into this,
Oh.
But it's interesting because I think it was you, because you knew Jeff Cole before he passed away.
Oh, that is
Oh.
true.
Remember
no,
that?
that is true.
And
That's
so
right.
you're-
But you did the race first.
True.
So
Yeah, so when I heard about it, so I don't really know. At the time, I had never biked before because I'm legally blind, so it wasn't safe
Yes.
for me to bike as a child.
Oh.
So at the time, I thought, or I'd always thought, like, what if there was a race that was just swimming and just running? And then I heard about this race from Amber, and I signed up immediately and just fell in love right away.
How did you two meet up though?
Oh, we
You lived-
yeah.
Okay.
So we lived together in Concord. I lived in Concord for 7 years, and we knew each other actually before I took 18 years out of the water. I owned a small business in Concord, New Hampshire. It was a small juice smoothie salad restaurant, and I think Amber came in, and
yep.
it was
we
like
talked about swimming, and it was like an immediate connection. We
Immediate.
were like, we need to be tethered in the near future.
Was this like over green smoothies? It was like
It has to be
was-
green
was-
smoothie.
Was
no
it all the
one-
kale talking? It was like,
dude, it was
love at first kale.
yeah.
Is it dino kale or curly or what's
You know
the
what?
best
I really
juicing type?
absolutely dino kale.
Yeah.
I think because it
The most
fits-
beta carotenes, I believe. So
like
dark.
more chlorophyll, and honestly, it just fits in the juicer better.
Oh right,
chlorophyll,
yeah.
not
No.
chloroform. That's
Yeah.
not cool.
Not
Do you guys
sure.
want to hear a funny kale fact?
Absolutely.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
You know, before
We're
the
off the
hipster,
rails
before the
already.
hipster movement, you know who was the #1 purchaser of kale in the world?
Who?
Pizza Hut. They used to
I
use,
think I knew that.
they used to
Yeah,
use
They would line
kale
it in their
to
salad
line
bars.
their salad bars
because it was
that's
cheap,
so
right?
funny.
because it
Yeah.
was cheap and it looked leafy.
Yeah, right.
But no one ever ate it until the hipsters started, just
Until
chomping
people
on it.
like Chipper started ordering
Yeah.
kale smoothies and
So
stuff.
anyway, that's a little factoid. You can bust that
Okay.
out at a party.
That
Anyways,
was
back
good.
on show. Back on show.
Okay. No, you met her at the over a green smoothie,
Yep.
and you said you did some swimming.
Yeah. So
Tell
I
us
said,
a little bit more about that,
I
because
s-
these
Sure.
people who are good at swimming just gloss over the fact that they swam, 400,000
Spoiler
yards.
alert! I feel a humble brag coming.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, so
That's probably true.
I quit swimming when I was 14 or 15.
Mhm.
Prior to that, I was good.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
100%.
And then, but I've always loved the water. So I said, "Do you
Mhm.
swim?" And she's like, "Yeah, we swim at the Concord YMCA Tuesday, 6 a.m." And I was like,
I'm there.
something triggered, and I showed up, and
Okay.
yeah,
Nice.
And I mean, Aaron, you were, this is respectful, but you were out of shape when you started. You swam in our lane in the with fins on.
correct.
And then you moved your way to the front of the lane.
correct.
And then
By the end of the
With
set,
fins or
What?
she, or
exactly. But
Like it took me like 6
Yeah.
months. It took me like 6 months, but we did swim. So
yeah.
the group was it's Amber, a guy that swam Division 1, another
Mm.
guy that swam Division 1 at
Wow.
Brown, and me. So it was like the 4 of us. So I was just like trying to stay out of everyone's way.
Sure.
Um,
So how did you knew Jeff Cole of the Cole Classic or Odyssey
Exact-
Swim Run Casco Bay.
Exactly.
Tell us a little bit about your origin story into swim run.
So, I guess.
Kale
So
smoothie.
I've been racing for 12 years and 11 as a professional, and so I was just my
wow,
year.
nice.
My year was filled with Ironman, and then Jeff actually had asked me for a couple years in a row to do the race, but the schedule was too full. And then Aaron asked me, was it last year? And in all honesty, I don't think I would have just been anyone's partner.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron's the perfect partner. She has
Aw.
everything.
I say that
No,
about Chris.
Aw.
she has everything that I admire in a partner.
Wow.
She is tenacious and will work hard and
Mhm.
just put her head down and work.
Is that traits of a Scorpio, or what are you?
I'm a Scorpio.
Oh my God! I
You
seriously.
just totally made that up.
I made that up.
Stop.
No.
If Chris knows me, he knows I made that up
I'm
totally.
a double
You to-
Scorpio.
What does that even?
It
okay,
means
I
you
don't.
should be terrified.
It's too late.
I have no idea what that means.
I know. All right. Anyway, so she's a great partner. She's a
fabulous-
scorpion.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, because she's tenacious. She puts her head down. She
Mhm.
works hard, and it's really, that's the best trait, right? That is.
Yeah, and I think that I never achieved my ceiling ever as an athlete, and so it's interesting. I'm 36 years old. I've got 2 kids, and for the first time in my life after I sold my business, I've been working with Amber, and the improvement I've seen has been awesome. Just like she said, just from hard work, which I think,
So your first race together was Casco Bay in
Mhm.
2019.
Yes.
2018.
No,
2019.
2019.
2018. Aaron, you raced by yourself.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Oh
In
my.
the sprint,
my
yeah.
bad.
And then
Sprint.
we raced
Solo.
the
She-
long
Which she
course.
won.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So just a little factoid to put out there. She won. But in 2019, you guys had a race together. So how did that come about? You're like, okay, I want to do this. I got the perfect partner.
Right.
Yes, she lives in Colorado, but that's kind of incidental to what
Well,
we're
and
trying
she
to
was
do.
actually still in New Hampshire at that time.
Oh,
You
perfect.
don't
and then
have to bring
and
your
so
bike.
she moved to Colorado a couple months before the race. But we've been training with each other for
And you've been training with the tether?
we did some quick last minute tether training
Mhm.
probably a week before the race.
And
Um,
so I'm just going to put in here that you guys should follow, whoever's listening should follow them on Instagram. And there's a story, I hope you saved it, where you guys are doing flip turns in the pool with
Yes,
the tether
we
on.
have
that was
yeah,
pretty
we have
good,
It's
yeah.
amazing. It's amazing. I've never seen it.
Better
Never seen
tethered
anything like it.
together on Instagram,
Yep.
and then we'll link all this in the show notes.
Yeah,
go
so
to-
tell us about this first race experience.
So the first
All the
race, we
details.
went out hard, super hard.
Too hard?
Well, is there too hard?
yeah.
I thought it was appropriate. I thought it was
I
appropriate.
mean, I'm
to
a
our
Taurus,
skill
I'm
set.
a bull, so it's like. So we were leading the race for
3 hours.
3 hours, 3+ hours. Someone like drilling through a wall back there.
Yeah. There's some environmental factors going on, but
Yeah.
the view we have is amazing
Okay.
on a patio.
So why don't we just
We'll
pick
take
it
that
back
from the
up?
top. Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us about your first race experience together?
We went out hard, perfectly hard. We were leading the race. for
Too hard?
She said perfectly hard.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
appropriate to our skill set.
We were leading the race for 3 hours. And do you want to give a little backstory? I mean, Aaron has like some GI issues, so right?
So so I struggle with constipation,
Okay.
and so 5 days before the Wednesday, the race was on Sunday. I took a double dose of what is called Comfort Cleanse.
Mm.
Is that clinically advisable for people?
Yeah, we're not doctors, but that doesn't sound like something.
well, it is like the ingredients. You're not going to test positive for doping, so it's like a lot of
NFA
Indian.
approved.
Yeah, it's NSF approved, and it's actually Ayurvedic, lots of Indian spices and herbs in the
Yeah.
Comfort
A
Cleanse.
lot of turmeric.
Okay,
I'm
so-
assuming.
Cannabis.
I took a double dose on Wednesday, but when I get anxious, like I can't.
Kind of get bound up.
Yeah, I
feel
can't do
ya.
it. Like
I
some
feel ya.
people can poop and other people can't, and I'm one that can't. So I didn't poop until.
Well, in
Go ahead.
But
so
you're
it was-
obviously
so it's
stressed.
been a week. So it's been a week. So hopefully we like painted a good picture. So it's been a
Well,
week.
you
of
haven't
no
pooped
poop.
for a week.
No
You haven't
poop.
pooped for
No
a week.
poop until the race.
And plus lots
Wow.
of herbs
That's
in the
like
system.
that's like my 6-month-old son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That.
So leading
So
the
it
race.
We at home we call that a poop strike.
Yeah.
I was on strike.
Or your bowels were at least.
Yeah. I was just so nervous. I thought I was like, we want to be champions.
Yes.
And why
So-
why were you nervous? Just fear
Just
of the
like-
unknown, wanting to do a good job.
Yeah, all of
absolutely.
the above. I had been swimming. I think in July I swam 110,000 yards.
That's
What-
like
Like,
crazy
pardon?
yards.
With-
In 1 month.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did that in January too.
Yeah.
with
Wow.
with a masters group, like in the second fastest lane, like in Boulder, with all these crazy triathletes. Like I had been putting
Training
my
your ass
I
off.
had been
Yeah.
exactly, and I was like, I wanna perform to the best of my ability. So we're leading for 3 hours in the race, and then all of a sudden,
Well, so we have a section of water that's really cold. We get out of the water. There's a nurse at one of the aid stations that looks at Erin and is like, "Wow, your face is so white. You look dehydrated." And then she's like, talking sternly to me, saying, "You have to take care of your partner," and forces
Whoa.
Erin to drink an entire thing of Coke, so bubbly caffeine.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
so
Oh,
we
that'll
got
loosen
a
you up.
constipated girl over here, and then I give her my nutrition, my infinite nutrition that has whey in it, which she's allergic to. But it was like just one of those things where it was
You
like
weren't-
feed or like
Yeah.
hydrate the dehydrated girl. So
Did you,
Were you
did you
actually
feel
dehydrated?
do you guys?
or was it you were just like clenching? Like
at this point, I was not thinking about my bowels. I didn't know what was going on.
So you're feeling a
Okay.
little bonky.
Yeah,
as they call it in the
yeah.
business.
But then what happened was we like get out of the aid station, and all of a sudden I say to Amber,
What are those science projects you make that's like a volcano? It's like
Yeah,
a
baking soda volcano.
we were just talking about that on the boat.
Yeah.
but contained in a wetsuit for
So
Just a
yeah,
little
so I
bit.
say to Amber, I'm like, we got on the run after that. And I'm like, I turn to Amber, I'm like, oh my god, Amber, oh my god,
It's happening.
I have to poop. I was like,
Were those your exact words?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I said, should I take off my wetsuit? I'm like looking in the woods. I'm like, it's a carry in, carry out facility. I'm like, we are in trouble.
And just a little footnote on Casco Bay. For the most part, you're running through people's backyards and shit.
Or their personal islands too.
We're not going to get invited back to that.
Okay.
I mean, we could.
I mean,
you know,
there should have been a health warning in Casco Bay after this race. So Amber's like, dude, you got to go in your wetsuit, and
Oof.
I'm like,
I don't
Amber,
recall that.
Yeah, you did. You
I don't
did.
recall that.
You just said just
Wait
go.
a second.
You said just
I'm sorry.
go.
This is just fascinating to me. If you know me, you know
He's a-
poop is like
he's
one
a
of my
big
favorite
poop
topics.
guy.
So you were like, okay, we're working together. We got a problem to solve. Your solution to the problem is poop in the suit.
That's
Well,
such a
can
that's a
you
Taurus
ima-
move right
Yeah,
there.
that's the bull talking. That is the bull coming out. Can you imagine taking off that wetsuit though?
Yeah, that would be tough.
And as the story progresses, you will learn that I have made the right call.
So wait, hold on. foreshadowing is great, but so the options were poop in the suit. And why wouldn't you all right, let's just cab down real quick. Were you wearing anything under your wetsuit, like a swimsuit or something?
Yeah.
So cab down, find a tree or something.
Because this
and go.
wasn't sort of like a debate. It was like a meteor strike.
Okay, yeah.
It was
so-
like, I have to poop and
In our house, we call this an emergency.
yeah.
Like,
Footnote, Chipper and I have these on the runs
Yeah.
all the time. Like
I'll be
we're-
like, "Hey, Chris, there's an emergency coming.
no,
I need to pull off."
No, seriously,
Like-
this is a little funny side note. This one time we're running on Twin Peaks in San Francisco, and we're running down from the mountain, and Chipper's like, "This is bad." I'm like, "Dude, we're on like a major street. What are we gonna do?"
I think we probably get along because in your head you're like totally like, okay, if I could just hold it for another bit, like I'll be cool.
There
and
was
then,
no
like we're
holding
only
it.
5 miles from home. And,
in San Francisco, there's construction going on all the time, and there's this porta potty,
Oh.
and we're running to it. He's like,
and they're
he's
always
like-
locked.
And I'm
though.
like, it's gonna be locked. Come on, man, they're not leaving that open. He goes up to it, and it's open. He's like, oh, thank God. Just runs in.
yeah.
So funny. I was
And
cracking
I've never encountered another unlocked porta potty since then.
Yeah, I was fate.
It was a sign
was
from whoever.
Yeah,
exactly.
it was fate.
It was
Dude,
like-
you're
Anyway,
lucky.
So
Yeah.
so yeah,
There was
so
no
so there's no
open
time to
porta
react.
potty.
Okay.
No
No
open
time to
porta
react.
potty.
So I just let it go, man. And it is 5 days. It's the beginning of 5 days
Yeah.
of backed up waste.
You probably didn't need a pool buoy after that.
Okay,
No, it probably
listen.
would sink. I would think.
So it is like thick.
Isn't pooped it? This is our most.
This is the
fun-
poop show.
Yeah, this is the poop
show.
episode.
It was gonna happen eventually.
It is thick. It is dense. It's not diarrhea yet.
Oh.
Yet.
Right, because there's like a plug.
Right, yeah,
probably.
because we got the whey that's been
Yeah.
introduced to your system.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
I know where this is going.
Correct.
And then I'm like, Amber, it's just stuck in there in the wetsuit. I mean,
We're gonna have to
And
have a
it's
parental
just-
advisory on this
it's
show.
it's coming, and then
12-year-olds are gonna love this.
Yeah,
show.
I know.
we make the mistake of allowing me to lead the next swim.
Oh, whoa, wait,
Oh
wait,
my God,
wait, listen. Yeah, right?
Whoa.
Hashtag better tethered together. Second thoughts. Because Aaron was freezing, though. Aaron was freezing.
So
you know,
hypothermic,
when Aaron and I are
shutothermic,
very equal swimmers,
bonking.
So when the person is trailing, they get cold, right, in the
Yeah,
water.
because you're just
And
chilling.
you're just
Yeah.
chilling, exactly. So it was like
figuratively
it was a
and
team
literally.
decision to have Aaron
Wow.
lead.
yeah, to warm up. Yeah, I see
Right.
that logic. Yeah, warm up. Go.
But I also see the
Put in
logic
some
of like,
strokes.
hey, I don't want to swim behind a dump truck.
Or just
Unloading.
like a sewage pipeline.
Yeah.
right.
I mean, this is how, like, honestly, we can side note. Amber is the most.
We don't need to say side note anymore. I mean, we're already talking
Yeah.
about it.
Right. I mean, like this story in and of itself.
We're on
says
minute
that
15 of shit talk, so
She is the most perfect human. The fact that we're racing together again is incredible, given the story. Okay, so we're a little over 3 hours in. There's waste pouring out of my face.
what? Hold on. Was your sense of relief were you like, I'm glad that this happened, or was
mortified?
it over compensated by the fact that you had shit your
Oh, dude, I
neoprene?
was so relieved.
Yeah,
It
Yeah.
was like I didn't even care.
totally.
Okay, so
I mean, I've been there too.
We finished the swim. We get out, and then the diarrhea starts,
Mm.
and it's just flowing, and it will not. It was.
But you're in the water at
unrelenting.
least.
No, we're out
Nope.
of the water
Second-
now.
It's the
And I was
water.
hoping that the water would wash
Yeah.
away.
yeah.
But
You're
it
kind of
was-
when you're swimming, you're like trying to get it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
I know what you
was
mean.
trying to, like at the exit, I was trying
Yeah.
to like, pull the bottom
Yeah.
of
Get
my
some-
wetsuit out
yeah.
to get it out. Right?
Yeah, trying to do a little like merengue. Just
Salsa,
Is that- what's-
yeah,
if
just
you
a little
will.
merengue. Just
Is
shake
that
the
a
hips
Puerto
little
Rican
bit.
dance?
Well, merengue is Dominican. Salsa
Okay.
is Puerto Rican.
Oh, I've had. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank
Anyway,
you.
little
Yeah.
all
So
sorts of factoids.
Thanks.
in this
we
episode.
start running again, and these dudes we're passing people still.
Well, and I am testing the resiliency of the tether at this point.
You-
Like,
you're
how
pulling it.
far away
You,
It's like
you
a
can
guitar
go.
string.
Yeah.
we pass
That's
people,
pretty
and
taut.
some like guys are like,
You gu-
"Whoa, that's one way to do it."
You guys are like clotheslining people.
Yeah.
You're just like
exactly.
tripping fools.
I was like, "God, let this tether
it's like,
snap."
yeah, it's
nope.
it's definitely. it's no wonder you're winning. You're tripping everybody with the
Yeah.
tether.
Just taking everyone out.
so I think there's some vomiting that ensues.
Why
we-
not?
Yeah, but you have a-
Everyone thought you fell in mud.
Everyone thought I fell in. So this
Oh, it was
woman
leaking out. Of
Oh.
course it was.
Oh, yeah.
caked on the calves. I
Were you
mean-
wearing the right size suit? You think like
Oh
there was
yeah, I
just-
was wearing super tight. Like
okay, and it
Oh,
was
yeah.
still wow.
yeah. It was uncontainable.
Sounds like it.
Wow.
So we get we get to this aid station, and the woman's like, "Oh my God, are you okay? Did you just fall in mud?" I was like, "Yes."
Yeah, butt mud.
Grabbed
Yeah.
things, and then
I blew an
boom,
O-ring out.
We were out, and then this woman
Like,
came by
yes.
in a van. Do you remember that?
Oh,
Vague memory of that.
yes.
No one had a super soaker to hose you off or something.
I was
Should've just
praying.
gone in someone
the
else's
thing
backyard.
is that it was like
So you were looking forward to the swims because you can
Exactly.
sort of clean off. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
so. At some
Oh.
point we just started walking.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it was just
It's-
So it was
everywhere.
it was
Both
out
ends.
both
Yeah,
ends.
both ends.
Okay.
Right.
How did this
And
situation?
we got passed for second, passed for third, and then we were in fourth. And then, in
Mhm.
all honesty, I was like, Aaron,
You can't.
I've gotten fourth so many times. I was like, Aaron, no,
This
this is
can't
not happening.
happen.
We've come so far. So yeah, I mean, Aaron doesn't have like full
I don't have memory. at this
of the
point. I
last
don't
like,
remember
He's
this.
kinda-
which is kind of scary because she was
Yeah,
very
that is pretty
dehydrated.
So
scary.
you just kind of like just get on my feet and
Exactly.
just
Get
go.
on my feet. Lots of pushing. Lots of
We blow past the last.
blow past
so
the
that
fourth
the
place
people
team.
that passed us.
Yeah.
It
that
wasn't
were
the
now in
first
third,
blowing.
sucked.
That's just the-
There was so much
Yeah.
blowing and not in the way
Yeah.
that everybody would want. All right. So
Amazing.
blowing it.
the team that passed us for third
Uh-huh.
stops at the aid station, and we just blow past the
Yeah.
last aid station. It's the sandbar swim before the last
Yes.
one.
Oh
Yep.
yes.
Very
yeah.
familiar
Oh
with
yeah.
that.
And we are conflicted. We don't know. I mean, my memory's fuzzy, so we've talked about this. Amber, do you want to take it from here?
Yeah,
'Cause
I mean,
don't
it was
have
just a
any
combination of
recollection.
like in the water, running in the water, swimming in
Right,
the water,
right.
running in the water.
Because swimming was a futile attempt.
Yeah,
Because
but
it
was
was
the
the
current
current was
super
so
strong by that
crazy.
Current
point?
was strong, but then
Yep.
it was just an awkward depth of water to run in.
Yeah.
So we get out and we're in
Especially
third,
since
and then
Amber's
it's at
5'2".
2.5, especially because the water was at chest level for
Yeah.
me. And then then we finished third, which was like disappointing. But in all honesty, I mean,
Hey,
But
third is good.
actually,
And
I
you
will
got
say-
those giant pull buoy.
Exactly.
You know.
Hey, you finished first in the shit yourself category.
yeah.
So that's nice.
Amber's like, Lars saw me after the race,
Oh
and
my God.
I am sure I smelled so bad. He was like,
Oh,
Oh,
I
he
poor
did
Lars.
like that, like the ass out hug.
well, my
I
ba-
got
my
like the
Oh,
like
the tap.
Oh, yeah.
the-
tap.
Yeah.
my
Hoover
boyfriend
hand.
was like, my boyfriend was like cheering, running us in, and he's like, "Wow, did you guys swim through some nasty seaweed?"
I still
Oh, yeah.
have. I
It's like,
still
oh,
have
stinky water.
I'm still caked.
Is
in
it on
stuff.
there still? What's on
Yeah.
your shoes right now? Is that duty?
No.
Okay.
These are
Not
new.
the same
Did you
shoes.
just like set your wetsuit on fire after that?
Oh
and-
my
Oh.
gosh. Amber cleaned it for me.
Oh my
What?
god.
Wow. Wait,
Oh my
so
God.
she's the best partner.
She is
Yeah.
absolutely
She's the
So
best
you two
partner.
are
Better tethered together.
match made in shit
I
heaven.
mean, Chipper. To be honest, I don't know if
I've
I'd clean
never-
your shitty wetsuit.
Not only did
Unless-
she soak
unless it was, like,
she soaked
necessary.
it twice in 7th generation in a bucket.
Organic at least.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we made the call to try and put it in the washing machine. And that, I mean,
Did that
Oh,
tatter it?
yeah. You
What
just
did that do
No, it
to
was
it?
okay.
broke the washing machine.
Oh, yeah.
It was okay. It was alright.
We upgraded to Roka this year, so.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
really can't be pooping in those.
that's
suits.
enough shit talk for now. I mean, I've had my fill.
That well, that was
That-
that was
no,
a
that
pretty
was good.
That was a pretty amazing story, and I guess, yeah, I mean, you
We
go
appreciate your
through-
honesty and your transparency.
You go through an ordeal like that, it really you come out the other side stronger.
Stronger. Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
but
and hopefully
diarrhea
this
sometimes.
just gives people like a little bit of motivation too. I mean, not to, but it's like no,
Yeah.
honestly, you go through some hardship like that, and you do come out stronger.
I
And
mean,
it's
talk
like,
about
wha-
the ultimate partner situation. Like we
Right.
had the partner episode where we talked, and oh yeah, all this like sunshine and roses type of thing, and then here you are, you're literally in the
Yeah.
the shit.
let's call it.
Shitstorm.
You guys faced adversity,
Yeah.
yeah.
and one of the great things about Swim Run, I think, is the fact that this is an adventure. You do it with somebody and all this stuff. And
That was
part
an
of it-
adventure.
Part of it is facing that adversity and how you deal with it
Exactly.
together and how you process it and how you kind of like, how you come out the other side, and you guys basically proved that it's possible in a very
Honestly, like the gratitude and respect for your teammate. I don't know another person that wouldn't have just been like, dude, let's stop.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and there was no stopping me.
And
like,
But in the same, I was just gonna say, in the same respect with Aaron, it was like any other partner, I think, would have been like, this is not my day.
yeah, let's call it a day.
But no,
Yeah,
so
especially and it sounded like you had trained long enough together where you knew the right amount that you could push her
exactly,
and so forth, and I think that's definitely one aspect of it that,
Yeah.
I would have not let anyone pull me from the course. Like they would have had a fishing net. They would have had to have a fishing net to fish me out, or I would
Well,
have
luckily they have a ton of fishing nets
Yeah.
up there.
crabbing,
Crab
lobster,
traps and
Exactly.
lobster
Yeah.
traps and
Yeah.
stuff. So
No,
they probably
it-
could have found something.
Okay, so I just wanted to say this. I
Uh-huh.
feel like it's important that I say this on this podcast.
Hot
is,
take.
oh boy.
No, it's
Oh,
good.
boy.
Like Amber's an Ironman champion. She's an elite athlete. She's one of the best in sport. She's one of the best in the world, right? She agreed to partner with me, who honestly is a middle-aged woman with 2 children, who
Aaron.
granted has some athletic ability, but is
Mhm.
not like, let's be honest, I'm not the top of the sport. I'm not the top of any sport ever at any point in my life, except for in Casco Bay 2018.
Well, if pooping was a sport.
Yeah.
it was,
yeah. I would. Okay. And so like I think that it's rare, especially for a triathlete. No disrespect there, to partner with somebody like with such disparate abilities.
In your view, she took a chance on you,
Yeah, absolutely.
but in her view, that wasn't the case. I think.
yeah.
Exactly.
yeah. So
exactly.
so let's talk about triathlon a little bit.
Oh,
Before we go there, can I just say?
Do you need a pen?
Sorry.
Yeah.
No. I don't need to use the bathroom. Thanks.
No.
No. So for anybody that does have constipation issues and this has happened to them, let me just tell you really quickly, 30 seconds. I did a full-on colonic on Thursday where they flush your colon full of water and they just flush
Oh, yeah.
everything out.
Yeah, J-Lo gets those.
Dude. So I
Awesome.
did that on
There we go.
Thursday. I
Okay.
didn't bring my enema bag. I should have maybe just do a little enema today to clean it out.
Sure.
But that's one thing that you can do if you're constipated and you struggle with these issues.
We got it.
Just clean it
Yeah.
out before the race. absolutely make sure you're hydrated because it
Now-
can dehydrate you.
I mean, this is serious because we're trying to give tips out. I know we're fucking laughing and having a great time, but
Pro tip.
yeah, no, that's a good tip.
Yep.
Do you pay? Is there certain supplements or certain? Are you like having extra fiber? Are you keeping a very clean diet to kind of help the situation? Like,
Clean diet is, I think, essential. You have to be really, really disciplined. And I think, if anything, you just try and eat foods that will help you, like, eliminate. But if you have
Mhm.
constipation, I mean, the colonic, I think, gave me a lot of peace of mind. All
That's
right, well,
good.
we can transition to
Okay.
triathlon now. Sorry. Just wanted to give that.
No, that is
advice.
Or,
impor-
No, I
that is
think
important
that's
because that's race prep, right? I mean,
It's adapting.
yeah, I
it's
mean,
adapting to
everyone
the
takes
situation.
different
No,
things
I
from
think-
every episode.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. Yeah, so my question about triathlon is, it's a pretty established sport worldwide. Swim run, I think we can all agree it's kind of on the cusp of something great.
Yep.
Attila having its first race in the U.S. is awesome. The level of detail that they spent making sure the race is dialed in has been really, really great to see, and we've talked about it on shows.
wait, can you? Was it Otillo? How did you pronounce it?
Attila.
Attila.
That's
Okay.
how this.
Attila.
That's how.
Like Attila the Hun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Huh?
Clearing
That's
that
how
up.
Swedish people
Attila.
say it. So I'm
Attila.
just trying to be, correct.
Okay.
Same way I would
Every
say Guatemala.
Guatemala.
Swedish person, we're like, how are we doing with our pronunciation?
Yeah. we
Or
have
worse.
a couple unofficial language coaches, and
Yeah.
they
Good.
think we're
They're like,
pitiful.
you guys are getting
So-
better. They're like,
Oh,
thanks.
almost there. Well, after this episode, they're gonna be like,
Oh,
"Damn,
yeah.
Chris, you got
Yeah,
it. You
he's
got,
got
it.
it.
baby.
Teach
You're ready.
Tripper.
You're ready to come to Sweden."
Yeah.
So the sport's on this cusp. We're super excited about it. You guys seem to be super excited about it. What's that like as a pro triathlete, seeing it happen? You've done tons of Ironman, run races. Like, what? Just how do
Champion.
you feel about that?
It's super excited. I mean, I love sport in general because I think it like connects people, and this is like the epitome of like connecting to another human. With
yeah.
Ironman, I've done 70 right now, so it's
Oh,
like
Damn,
Pardon?
you're like the Meredith
Pardon?
Kessler of.
Like
oh
seven-
man, no,
seven
Meredith
zero?
Kessler has me beat by like 7-0. So
Iron-
You're just
full
doing
distance
like every
Ironman.
weekend,
between the
huh?
full and a half. but it's been over
Wow.
11 or 12 years. So, but
What a
so
badass.
I mean, Ironman
Jesus.
though, it's like, I mean, it's selfish, right? It's like I have to worry about myself. That's all I have to worry about, and I can manipulate the variables. But with a partner,
Mhm.
you have to worry about like how they're feeling. And then, endurance races, you have highs and lows. So it's like
Yeah.
with partner racing, one partner's high, one partner's low. Like, how do you deal with that? And it creates like this awesome human connection. Like when you can kind of make it through like a 5, 6, 7 hour race, the world's is like a 10-hour race. It creates like a connection that you wouldn't believe. So I just think I'm excited for that. Like I love sport. I love competing, and I wouldn't have chose any partner. Like I was actually really hesitant to be like, ooh, a partner sport. Like how's that gonna, it's like, oh no, I don't have control of everything. But it turned out to be way
Amber,
more
Amber
fun than I
controls
thought.
me.
Yeah.
I do whatever she says.
So-
It's a subservient relationship.
so you're
Absolutely.
Sounds like a good relationship if you're, on Amber's side.
So, kind of what you see, swim runs, happening in Europe right now. It's just kind of taking off in the U.S., as Chris talked about. As a pro triathlete, what do you see as like kind of the next necessary steps for swim run to really take off in the U.S.?
So, I mean, like anything, they just need to put a little bit of money into it, I think, right?
Okay.
And that does it. In all honesty, that brings athletes, brings high-level athletes, and then you get sort of like the excitement around the sport.
Not to interrupt you, but when you say money, you mean like prize money for top tier finishing?
Yes.
Creating
Okay.
a pro class.
Creating like a pro elite division, and then like
Okay.
putting money into that.
Okay.
And then, I mean, right now, how many Attilo do we have in the U.S.?
Just one.
There's just this
But there's
one, right?
50 other U.S. races.
50,
ish.
yeah. So I think though that like adding more races in the U.S. that can qualify you for the World Championship. I mean, that's huge, and that's a necessity to any sport. It's
Yeah.
like you need that like culmination of sport, and then you need to be able to qualify for it. So.
Amber, can you talk about women in the sport?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
do you want to go there? It's a
Yeah.
battle I've been fighting for years in triathlon,
Right.
and so you're like, I don't know if
The
you-
50Q, yeah.
exactly.
We were
Yep.
we were all aboard that train.
We're allies.
Or we're still
Thank you,
yeah,
thank
we're
you.
allies.
Yeah, I was yes, exactly. It's
Doesn't make any sense, basically.
yeah, and I mean it's sort of like I think Ironman was proud of themselves for switching over a couple years ago, but it's like it's 2018.
Yeah.
It's like come on.
Yeah.
So I mean the good news is it's like equal prize money in Ironman, but the inequality in the slot allocation was just like dinosaur age.
Yeah.
You know.
That's just so stupid.
And
So
then they
right
kept trying
now-
to justify it and shit. It was a
They
bullshit.
yeah, and it's the same justification. Like there's not as many females in this field, but that just creates like that cycle of like
Right.
then you're not going to get that many females in the
Right.
in the
I
field.
think,
So
yeah, what might change it is like when the competition or like I think it's already pretty close at the top, but when it gets like harder and harder and harder, and it's like perhaps even more tight than the men at the top, even if there's
Mhm.
not the numbers.
Yeah.
Just like
but the
that
thing is they
competition at
just
the
like
top.
I mean they just need to change it now. So right now like the top 2 females teams will qualify for
Swim
Sweden
run
and
team.
every
Yeah.
swim run teams, and every other so male and then a mixed is top 3.
You
so
need
I've
a
been-
penis.
What was that?
Just joking.
Oh.
I was like, you need to get that third slot.
Yeah.
So what you're saying? So the top 3 male teams get qualifications.
For Sweden,
The top 3
mixed
mixed, but then
teams,
only 2
only
female.
2 females, and I had a back and forth with the race directors who really aren't budging.
Yeah.
But-
well,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think having those conversations early,
Yeah,
I
Yep.
think will be good as the
Yeah.
sport grows for sure, and just making sure everybody's mindful of that. I think that's
Yeah.
a great thing to be doing because I mean the way we're in our little corner of the universe, the way we're really trying to grow the sport is trying to have it continue to be super inclusive, welcoming
Exactly.
to everyone, and have it be diverse, right?
exactly.
Mhm.
And we think that all walks of life can experience swim run and get
Absolutely.
different things out of it. And people at the top, they should, the fast people should be able to get something out of it too, not just people that are out there for an adventure and
Yeah.
discover nature or whatever.
Exactly.
In terms of accessibility, I think that the fact that there's no bike and the fact that you don't have to spend $10,000
On
a
equipment
bike,
and- yeah.
opens the I guess opens its
Lowers the
visibility.
barrier to entry. Yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now we posed this question to Fanny and Mia of Wild Swim Run, who we talked to, and that will be coming out as well. But for men or people who want to be allies to more inclusive and more equality within the sport, like what's one or two things that you think that allies can do to help foster an inclusive environment for equality?
So just being vocal about it, but in a respectful way, and
Okay.
Is that what you're saying? Like,
Yeah, like, hey, I want to help your cause. What can I do? Is it I put a 50Q sticker on my thing when I'm
Exactly.
going, or
yeah,
what do you need
exactly.
from me?
And I mean, now we know like social media is so powerful, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like throwing
a
something
little pressure?
Yeah.
kind of throwing something up there, but also being respectful, because it's like I get it, like the race directors aren't budging right now and they have their own, they have their reasoning and not everyone
it's hard.
can see.
It's very hard
It's
to see
hard.
the full picture. Like, they've got a lot of moving pieces for Sweden, and like, just trying to be compassionate to the fact that they have kind of a difficult job. So, like respectfully asking that they consider.
But never, yes, but also
More
never
equal.
backing down, because
Exactly.
really, in all honesty, it just needs to
Squeaky
happen.
wheel
Like
thing,
we
yeah.
just need to stop
Yeah.
saying or making
then
excuses.
As an amateur athlete, did you tell us a little bit about that? Did you feel, I mean, in our view, swim run is arguably the most inclusive sport, especially when compared to triathlon or some other sports like that. Did you feel that swim run was more diverse than triathlon or swimming from your heavy swim background? Or
I mean, oh man, the privilege of being able to race against Fanny and Desiree tomorrow says it all. Like, we get to toe the line with the very best in the world,
yeah,
and so does everybody else that's an amateur athlete. And that's honestly, like, just the fact that we get to do that will probably be the most exciting, like, thing.
yeah, that's
for
awesome.
me. And so, I mean, for me, I felt very open to it because everybody's dealing with the same thing. It's not like triathlon where it's like very linear. There's no markers necessarily in the same way that there is. Like, you're running through the wilderness. Everybody's swimming in the open water. There's less buoys. There's less markers. I mean, there's so many I love the variability that anything can happen out there. Anybody
that's
can
really
get
cool. It's like an
diarrhea,
adventure.
and you can pass them
I was
so quickly.
I was just
mean,
about
you
to
just
say
never
we just
know.
had our hot quote, and then the
Yeah.
diarrhea came out. That's a good
That's
point.
the truth,
I
though.
remember when I first started triathlon, like most people in California, one of my first races was Wildflower,
Oh, so
and
fun.
Crowy was there.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah,
growing
super
up,
cool.
like being a traditional American, I'm a baseball fan. The way I equate it to people is like, imagine you go and you're playing catch, and
With-
like Barry Bonds is right there, or like whoever your
Exactly.
favorite player, you're literally standing next to them on the same field, and you get to play on the same field. Like, that's just the
Exactly.
most mind-blowing thing to me as being in the sport. And to us, like, what makes the community so cool is, honestly, if you didn't know anything about swim run and you lined 10 people up and had world champions to first year people, like, there's no one's acting any better than anybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
And in
Yeah.
fact, they're probably trying to help the more amateur
So
folks.
we experienced that last night. This guy comes up to us, and we're talking to some people. He's just like, "Hey, I just want to say, love what you guys are doing. You're taking the sport by storm." And we're like, "Okay, wait, all right, thanks, buddy."
Yeah.
He goes away, and we're like, "Who was that guy?" He was like the world champion from last year.
That's awesome.
And we're just like,
Super
no idea who
nice.
he was, and he
Like,
was just so cool. We're just like, oh man, like it was a really cool moment. Just
That is
you
a
know,
really
kind
cool
of
moment. It
emblematic
does,
of,
and it's like another like human connection, right? It's
Yeah.
like you can just meet all these people from around the world and like have a similarity. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that also, like, with the human connection and the importance that they place on the environment and
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
great.
do love that.
cleanliness of the environment. It's like you're dealing with all of the elements. You're dealing with earth, water, air,
Yeah.
spirit. I mean, with our powers combined, man, Captain Planet is in this race.
I don't ever know why they canceled that show.
Heart
was-
Heart was the most powerful.
Yeah.
But honestly, like
Planet.
it connects people, and then it connects us to all of the elements
Yes.
of the world.
So powerful.
I gotta
so much
start
energy.
coming up
It's
with some Captain
amazing.
Planet memes.
Yeah.
I think.
I thought we drafted one out. Well, now we have to in honor
Yeah,
of
we
these
have to.
two.
We'll
Um,
make sure we release it before the
So let's wind this adventure down here. What you each have your own Better Tethered Together on Instagram. What are some other things that you're passionate about, or you wanna get in and let everyone
anything
know
you want
about?
to plug.
Ooh, anything I want to plug. Wow. Well, can we give like a shout out to the sponsors?
Yeah.
Or-
Go. I mean, yeah. This is your time on the mic.
Okay, we want to give a shout out to Roca, Infinite Nutrition, Rudy Project,
Okay.
Juice Performa, Delta Dental. Those are all like partners and
A
just-
dentist
Wait, you
sponsor.
have Delta
Yeah.
Dental? Wait, like the
Oh,
insurance
Teeth,
company?
man.
Oh, those are
Yeah,
pretty
the insurance
nice.
company.
Natural too.
I
They're
need-
making
What?
it
I need to get a
Tom
couple
Raffio,
fillings.
New England Delta Dental. Yeah.
That's
Everyone
amazing.
deserves a healthy smile.
Yes,
Wow, that's
we agree.
that's true.
We agree.
Yeah.
So
I want to give a plug to all the artists and the poets out there. Seriously, if you want to talk about human connection and pre-race motivation, read some poetry, read some Rilke.
Any recommendations?
Anything by Rilke, David White, Mary Oliver. If there's anything that's gonna save us, it's gonna be Attila and
That's good.
nice.
and the
Good job.
humanities. So
The humanities, yes. So I have one last question. So race goals for this year. You guys
Mhm.
trying to qualify for Worlds?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
We're not hiding that. We're really trying to make a podium and qualify. So
So what do you have on the docket? Catalina, obviously.
yeah, we have Catalina, and so then we're I mean, it's like don't think too far ahead, right? We're gonna
Right.
go from there after the
You gonna
race.
do
love
some
to
of the-
race in Croatia. We would love to
Oh,
race
the
in
Hvar?
Croatia.
Havar?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that race looks really amazing.
yeah, yeah.
So that's if you don't qualify here,
But-
you're thinking you'll
One
go
step
there.
We're
Time.
thinking
I
they're
think
taking
you-
it
I
one
think you're
race
gonna
at a time.
qualify. I think you're going to qualify.
They're
Like,
taking
I
it
have
one
a
race
good
at a
feeling
time,
about this.
Chris.
and
Yeah, one
race
race.
at a time.
Yeah. They're taking it one race at a time.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're just like putting all our energy and focus into tomorrow, and
Yeah.
then
I love it.
reassessing. But hopefully it goes really well.
Well, we have
I
no
love it.
doubt you're going to crush it,
Thanks.
and we hope that your bowels cooperate. I think they'll be fine.
I think they will.
But in all honesty,
That sounds
though,
like
it's
you have
like
the right prep.
we've been training side by side, literally
Yeah.
side by side since October. I mean,
That's right.
we could have
That's
put
crazy.
a tether on,
Yeah.
so it's like anything that happens tomorrow, we'll be able to like overcome it. I mean, who cares if
That's
you poop
awesome.
your pants again? We'll be like,
maybe that'll just be your thing.
Yeah. Well, we wish you the best of luck,
Thank you so
and
much.
thank you
Yeah.
so much
Thank
for
you for
coming
being on
on.
the show, yeah.
and
Thanks for making an
we
awesome
appreciate
podcast.
your transparency and your openness to talk about things that some people
Sensitive.
might consider taboo,
These are
but
sensitive topics.
we say poo to that taboo.
Yeah. Yes. And
Thank you guys.
there's
so
a
much.
good Chinese restaurant in town. I hear they have a really good poo poo platter.
Oh,
Do we have any more?
any more poop?
I think.
Yeah, you just go and be like, "Can I get a poo poo for 2?"
Yeah.
Oh, we no oopsie poopsie tomorrow. No shitting in the
No
kid.
shit, it's okay.
Yeah.
Don't
You know
don't
what?
shit the bed. So
We should work.
Don't
You
shit
should
the
work
bed.
with Roca. You know those union suits that have the little butt flap.
Oh my God, we
Yeah.
need a butt flap.
You
Roca,
need to, like,
do you
unzip-
hear us?
Unzip a little butt flap.
Do you hear us, Roca?
Right.
Just a special custom suit here.
yeah,
For Aaron.
And
Little
we're
butt
gonna
flap.
tattoo our last names on those things, and it's like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you
It
go.
can be like like those old Disney movies where the long pajamas had the little
Yeah, that's called a union suit.
union suit.
Yeah,
Oh, that's what they're
I was
called.
saying. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Why do I know that? I'm 82 years old, and that's what I wore when I was a kid. I don't know.
yeah, it's
You're an old
mind-boggling
soul.
that
I'm
we
an
don't
old
have
soul.
those already.
All right.
Down.
Well, thanks again.
Thank you guys so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Best of luck in your race.
You guys are awesome.
We're
Thank
rooting
you. You
for
too.
ya.
You too. I mean, you're racing.
We'll
that
see you
is-
at the
yeah.
start line, and we'll see you about 3 hours
Yeah.
after you guys are done.
No.
Yeah.
No.
We'll be there though.
two.
We'll be there.
Everyone's gonna be there. You're
Yep.
stuck there. You're
Be
stuck
there.
there
Yeah,
waiting
you
for
will
us.
be stuck.
cheering for the Low Tide boys.
Sweet.
Absolutely.
Wow. Awesome.
And everyone else
Sweet.
who makes it to the, especially the ones with the poop on their shins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
on that note, adios.
Adios.
Thanks.
Bye.
we are. What is this called exactly?
This is an exclusive.
Exclusive. Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
We'll put in some do like you know, CNN music.
Yeah.
We'll have a ticker at the bottom. This is a Low Tide Boys exclusive. We have the Better Tethered Together Amber and Aaron on. Post 3 weeks after Catalina. Yeah, to hear how the race went. So give us your open-ended race report, and we wanted to first congratulate you for hitting your goal of getting a slot at the World Champs. For Ootaloo.
Thank you. Thank you. And it happened in dramatic fashion.
Very dramatic.
That
fashion.
was.
So wait, hold on. I feel like I have to give this factoid where I almost went up there to accept the award in your honor.
Yeah.
Accept your slot because
Well,
no one
listen.
can find you guys. I'm
Listen,
texting you.
listen. Speaking of getting high / like getting drunk, I was drinking so many beers going, oh, we got 4th. First we thought we got 5th.
Oh.
Right.
And then we were like a little happier that we got 4th, but still bombed. So we were just rehashing the race, going,
Yeah.
what could we have done better? And then I just got flooded with texts and Instagrams like, you qualified. And so I was like, whoa, put down the beer.
Yeah, but you were so. I don't know. I mean, I think
we were
I.
literally like wowing in that little.
Yeah.
So needless to say that it's super awesome that you guys accomplished your goal, but tell us about your race. Like, what was that like? Did you have a good time? Were you just hustling the whole time? Was it scary? What? Just give us your short version.
The
race
quick and
report.
dirty.
Okay, so it started out, I thought the race started out super fast. Yes? Did you guys think it started out fast?
Oh, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you know, sure.
I mean, Aaron sprinted off the line and then it immediately goes uphill, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Right.
that's correct.
Exactly. And then so we were like sort of hovering between like 3rd and 4th for a while. Second and third. And then do you remember the Burley swim that was like scary?
Parsons Landing, yes.
Yes, that was scary. Aaron's goggles snapped
Oh my.
in
And half.
half. And I was like, I was terrified. Like we were trying to knot the goggles, and then one of my paddles almost fell like into the sea. We would have been
We
screwed.
looked like a.
Amateur hour.
Yeah, we're just the teams. Okay, also, like we didn't nail the downhill.
No, I crashed on the downhill.
Oh no.
That was a hard.
So.
Oh no.
Okay. And then between not nailing the downhill as well as you would have liked, and then I just like everything just felt a little off, and then the goggles broke, and we kind of jerry rigged it so it would be okay. But anyway, we went into that swim. It took us a very long time to get into the water because of the way that the waves
Like 7 teams passed us.
Wow.
7.
Wow.
And we thought like we're done, like, whatever. But then we get into the water. I'm leading the swim. I can't see anything out of my right eye. I noticed the safety boat bouncing up and down, like this little thing that like really is not providing much like comfort.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was like a donkey. Scared donkey in the sea.
The donkey swim?
So we were trying to get out. I mean, this is probably the most dramatic part of the race.
But it was real life drama, not just like.
Oh no, that swim was tough.
It was really
It was
tough.
hard.
And then we get to the end, and I'm trying to get out of the water, and we just keep getting pushed in and pushed back and pushed in. And pushed back. Like, on one of the parts, I guess, like I look back and like, do you want to talk about the wave going under your foot?
Oh yeah, that's right. We were like coming into the shore and then getting dragged back out. Do you guys remember that? Did you have a hard time
Yes.
getting out of that swim?
I got
Yeah.
pulled
Well,
back.
Well, we had a little bit of a strategy. So I grew up swimming in waves like that in Puerto Rico.
Good for you.
So even like going in, we made a quick plan on how we were going to handle it. So it was pretty much like I knew that we were just gonna have to jam out. And on the way out, Chipper like caught a wave and almost landed on me, which was would have been fun. But we were definitely, we weren't hanging around in the shallows on that thing. We're just trying to get out.
We were trying to not hang around, but I was like swimming on my belly, right? And a wave came, it took my feet and flipped me over the other way, like literally a turtle on my back. And then Aaron was like, "Are we gonna die?"
And literally, because I'm like putting my head
Oh, could you?
down and trying to get my face not ripped off by like this rocky sand. So like I had a bruise. I was like, "What?" So I was like, "Where
You're
is this something had?"
you're very hard to hear.
Drama.
Anyways, so we get out of that swim and
started hauling ass.
just started
Yeah.
crushing. We were at this point, we were just like, "Rah!"
And we passed all the
So would you say it was that near death experience that kind of put like got the
Reinvigorated
fire going and got you guys all kind of
definitely.
feeling better?
I would say that it,
Or not? Or
Maybe
not?
We're so traumatized. Can we not talk about this?
Okay, yeah, let's move on. Let's move on.
I mean, I would have preferred I hate when you have to stop in a race due to like things, mechanical issues or like things
Oh yeah.
that like one thing that I learned is like, you know what, I'm just gonna always bring a spare pair of goggles in my wetsuit. I'm always gonna do that because I really didn't like feeling. I wear contact lenses and I'm almost blind. Like, you know, it's not a good situation.
Yeah.
It was not a good situation to be in.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got out of that swim, and then I would say the back part of the race, we were just hustling. We were moving so fast and efficiently through aid stations. Our swims were our strongest actually, and I think it got swim heavy towards the back end.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
started just mowing teams down on the swim. To the
Nice.
point where I think that one of the swims was like a mile long swim after that or something like that. And I didn't realize we had passed so many teams
Oh yeah.
that when we saw kind of our friends cheering, they were like, "Wow, you guys are in 5th." And we were like, "What? We thought we were like in 10th." So then we passed one team after that. And then do you want to talk about our last swim coming into the
Oh, and then the last swim we actually traded off. We picked it off. So like Aaron led the first and I led the second half, which I think that we'll probably use that in other races.
So you can both go at operate at higher intensities.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's what Chipper and I do, but pretty much the same intensity. There's no
Yeah.
you know, nothing
Hey, I'll
super
go
special there.
I'll go zone 2
But-
for a while, and then you go zone 2, and we'll switch off.
Zone 2
Yeah,
all
and then
day.
you just zone 1. And then you just zone 1. You
Just
know,
put that into cruise
when you're
control.
on the feet.
Just bring it in.
And we're
It's like I
always
usually
we are
just throw
always
on,
zone
like, an
5.
audio.
Yeah.
Zone 5.
Yes.
I know. That's
you
why.
are.
Yeah,
And that's why you qualified for Worlds.
that's true.
The end.
We can talk about this forever. So I will just say that our quads and our legs were so sore after
Yeah.
ours. The elevation was just so intense.
So intense.
Yeah, those downhills are. I mean, unless you're running on that and practicing that, that's just a skill that's kind of really tough to pick up. I mean, it was 20, 30% downhill. Yeah.
I mean, I guess yeah, it's always a little different.
Yeah, well, it's also like anytime you're doing anything in a race, you're always willing. Yeah, you're always willing to go a little bit more, less braking than you would in training or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, to be honest, I thought Chipper and I, our downhill, that was like our best part of the race.
Yeah.
That's where we were sort of making moves and stuff. But yeah, so you qualify for Worlds, very exciting. Now what? I mean, you guys are obviously going, but what are you doing between now and August to get ready for that?
Oh man, so I mean, well, it's different but it's the same for everybody. There's no pools open, right?
Yeah.
Right? Do you guys have
Right.
pools open where you are?
Nope.
Just the Pacific
No.
Ocean.
Yeah. So it's I know it's like not the prep that we're imagining, that we imagined after the race, but I feel like it's I mean, we're gonna get back into a groove at some point, right? It's just like when. So
Yeah.
I guess you put all the energy right now into the run, which is like, yeah, I mean, yeah. So I know, especially with Sweden's 40 miles. So maybe
Yeah.
right now we just think positively and like put all the energy into the run. And then the swim will come back, that'll come back quickly. But it's definitely not the like prep after the race that we were imagining with this
Yeah, like get
virus.
right back in the pool and just start crushing a couple more 100,000-yard months.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
NBD.
yeah. I mean, it's like a little good mental break right now to like not be able to get in the pool, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, well, thank you so much for giving us sort of that perspective. We're definitely rooting for you when you go to Worlds, and we hope to have you back on the show
Yes.
to
Talk
tell us
about-
how it went.
The world needs to know. One final question. Did anyone poop themselves on the race?
Of course. I mean, of course you had to ask that question, not of course.
So
We had to.
Ever this
Yes.
time.
what's the answer? Well, I didn't hear
is
any answer.
No.
Amazing.
No. Okay.
No, and see,
No.
that's the thing. It's kind of sad because, right, we thought it was going to be our thing.
Yeah, you're gonna have to find a new shtick.
You know what?
We're going to have to find a new thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay if pooping your pants is not your thing. Let's have it be qualifying for Worlds and being the first American women's team to win Worlds. How does that sound?
Let's say
How does
that
that sound being your
again.
thing?
Let's say that again.
Yeah.
That is the
Yeah.
goal.
Wow.
That's the
Yeah.
goal.
Love it.
We're putting it
Yeah,
out there.
So good luck, happy training, and
Safe
thanks again for being on the show and being fans of the show.
Thank you for listening to the Low Tide Boys, a swim run podcast. Make sure to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast and leave a review on iTunes if you're so inclined.
You can also sign up for a newsletter at lowtideboys.com. That's boys with a Z. And check out our meme page at The Low Tide Boys on Instagram. If you have any questions or suggestions for the show, drop us an email at lowtideboys@gmail.com.
We'd like to thank Writing Easy Records for our show music, and of course our wives for their support and tolerance of our swim run activities, hobbies, and other bullshit we do.
Finally, you can support our efforts on Patreon. Until next time, get out there and go for a swim.
And then a run,
And then another swim.
then another run,
And then another swim.
and then run to the finish line. And just keep going until you're done.
Yes. Or
until
run
you
to
cross the finish line.
or run to the car
Or run to your car.
somewhere. Just keep running.
Peace.
Peace.
Only happiness.